Hello everyone, we decided to cook the longest burger. Presumably, it will take 4 days to prepare it. Day 1. Let's start with pork ribs. First of all, we undermine the films. And tear them off. For the marinade, a mixture of peppers in a mortar, and grind them. And throw that into the bowl. There's also a lot of smoked paprika, salt, Worcestershire sauce, and a lot of mustard. Mix up that marinade. And spread it out on the ribs. And rub it in well. We transfer the ribs to a special package. And vacuum seal them. That's it. Send them into the refrigerator for 3 days. Let the marinade penetrate to the maximum. We also decided to pickle some chili peppers. To do this, cut them into circles. Done. Put a saucepan with water on the stove. Add in a lot of sugar. And the same amount of salt. Also pour in some apple cider vinegar. We bring this marinade to a boil and pour chili peppers into it. Boil it all for 5 minutes. And then it's ready. You can pour it into the jar. Day 2. Let's start with making homemade cheese. Put a saucepan on the stove and put in 400 grams of natural cottage cheese into it. Pour 400 milliliters of homemade milk and heat it all up, stirring constantly. After 5 minutes, the liquid turned yellowish, and this means that the serum is separated. We drain all this through a sieve. And we send the clean cheese back to the saucepan. And onto the stove. Add orange dye, half a teaspoon of soda, and the same amount of salt. Over some low heat, we constantly crush and mix the cheese. At some point it'll all melt, and it'll almost be ready to eat. Now we quickly prepare a square mold. From the inside we lubricate it with oil. Shift in the melted cheese, and distribute it by hand. In an hour, it'll all cool down, and then it's completely ready. The next thing we need to do is dry some tomatoes. We cut the fresh tomato into 2 parts. Then lay them out on the grill. And sprinkle salt very abundantly. That's it. You can send our fresh tomatoes to the oven. We set it to 70 degrees in the convection mode. We leave them to languish until the next morning. Day 3. Our tomatoes have already dried out very much and have decreased in size by 5 times. We take a jar, pour provincial herbs into it, then load in the dried tomatoes, and pour an olive oil to the top. That's it. At this, the dried tomatoes are ready. We'll need them later. In the meantime, take the onion and peel it from the husk. Cut into half rings. Put a frying pan on the stove and a little oil in there, and put in the onion. It needs to be fried to this slightly brown color. Then pour in the water. Thanks to this, it'll become softer. Now just add some sugar. Mix the onion and caramelize. In the end, we get an awesome soft and sweet onion. For the barbecue sauce, peel the red onion and slice. Slice it into strips. Crush a garlic head and peel the cloves. We crush it again and crumble it. Put a saucepan on the burner. Cut off a piece of butter and send it to the saucepan. Now fry the garlic with the onion. We open up a tomato paste and add 4 tablespoons to our sauce. Pour in some whiskey. And add for sweetness a lot of honey. To get that spicy chili pepper and some Tabasco. Squeeze out some lemon juice, salt, pour in some liquid smoke, and knead it. Boil for a couple more minutes and the barbecue sauce is ready. Now we just need to punch it thoroughly through an immersion blender. And pour it into a sauce thing. Done. For our super long burger cooking, we will make the softest brioche bun. Pour some milk into a bowl. And break in half a package of yeast. Add some sugar, salt, and mix it all well. Then we break in 4 eggs. We put the bowl into the mixer. And gradually fill in the flour. After 5 minutes of kneading, you should get a dough flowing off the hook. Cut off 100 grams of butter and throw it into the bowl. Now we knead the dough straight for a long time, for 30 minutes. As a result, it should come off the walls of the bowl. Now we take a baking sheet, pour it abundantly with oil, spread the dough in a baking sheet, spread it out wide, and cover it with some cling film. Now leave the dough to rise in a warm place. After an hour and a half, it is tripled in size. We take off the film, and once again we crush it with our hands. We form some balls and put them on a baking sheet. We place elevations in the corners and cover with cling film so that it doesn't touch the buns. We're waiting another 20 minutes for them to get up. Done. In a bowl, we break 1 egg, pour milk, and mix. We glaze those buns so they're nice and wet. Send them onto the grill and turn on the gas. We will bake at 180 degrees for 25 minutes and the buns are ready. They turned out to be real frickin' soft. The last 4th day. The ribs are already completely marinated. We also need a baking sheet. We open a can of beer and pour it into the baking tray. There's a special grill for the top. Open the package shift the ribs to the grid. We unfold the foil from above. And press it tightly from all sides. That's it, we can put it on the grill. And in the meantime, we will make a glaze for them. Fry these cloves of garlic. Dump a glass of thawed cherries. And evaporate the juice a little bit. Pour some pepper into a mortar and crush. And throw it into the sauce. A little tomato paste. Basil, salt, and sugar. Lemon in half and squeeze out the juice. We mix our glaze and it's almost ready. Now we just need to kill it with a blender for about 3 minutes. The ribs have been grilled for 3 hours. We take them out. And open up the foil. We apply cherry glaze with a brush. And shove it back into grill. After 10 minutes, the ribs already look awesome, but we will glaze them again so that the layer is bigger. Another 10 minutes, and the ribs are finally ready. We get them out. We put the ignition bowl on the grill and fill it with coals. We set fire to a tablet of dry alcohol and let it ignite the coals. Done. We pour them into the grill. And we put the bars in place. We proceed to the preparation of the cutlets. We need beef and pork fat. Cut the fat into strips. We cut the largest films from the meat. And cut it into convenient pieces for the meat grinder. Now we take the meat grinder itself, substitute a bowl, and put the meat in the saucer. Now we begin to twist the stuffing. Also finally chop some smoked bacon. And Throw that in there too. We open it and take out our dried tomatoes. We cut them finely. And put that into the meat as well. Freshly ground chili pepper. And of course, salt. That's it. We need to mince meat thoroughly with our hands. Now we form balls from it. We send it to a square of parchment and form a cutlet. We made 3 pieces. We're gonna grill them. While they are being grilled on one side, we will use lettuce leaves and tomato. We cut them. And now we try and cut our homemade cheese into slices. We cut our super soft brioche buns into 2 parts. The pork ribs are still hot, therefore we shift them to the cutting board and very simply take out the bones. Cut them into 3 parts. Turn the cutlets to the other side. Fry them a little bit more and take them out. Now we put the buns on the grill. For literally 20 seconds until the crust appears and take them out. Now we're going to build our burger. We lubricate the top bun with caramelized onions. Tear off a piece of lettuce and put it on the bottom bun. Next comes the juicy burger, 2 slices of homemade cheese, squeeze out the barbecue sauce. Next comes tomatoes, pork ribs, barbecue sauce again, pickled chili peppers, and top it with a bun. That's it, the burger we've been cooking for 4 days is finally ready. Let's try it. Hello everybody. For this video, we ordered a huge crate of crawfish. There are exactly 1,000 pieces here. The most important thing is that every crayfish is still alive. This is the most important sign of their freshness. Here are mostly medium-sized crayfish, but there are also such giants. So first of all, we unload all the crayfish into the sink. Prepare the pots, and begin to wash the crayfish from the dirt with a toothbrush. The dirtiest piece is the stomach, so there are 3 more active. Already cleaned crayfish are dumped into the saucepan.
Really, the task is simple, but when you need to wash 1,000 crayfish, it'll take a while. So, we will cook most of the crayfish, cook the middle one in a cauldron, and the rest on coals. Let's start with the cauldron. Pour in some oil. Peel some ginger with a teaspoon. And cut into slices. You also need a lot of garlic. Crush the cloves so that they give off more flavor. And chop some green onions. We'll dump this into the cold oil and kindle the fire. Our oil is saturated with aromas, and now you can fry the crayfish in it. We mix it all up. When all the crayfish are red, you can pour in some beer. Also a lot of Worcestershire sauce, chili sauce, teriyaki, and soy sauce. That's it. Cover with the lid for 10 minutes and let the crayfish stew. So everything is almost ready. All the liquid is turned into a glaze. So we mix it so that it sticks to the surface of the crayfish. And you can spread it out onto a dish. Now we turn to our cooking crayfish. Pour some water into a large saucepan. Take some Korean seafood seasoning. And pour out half a kilogram at once. Add quite a lot of paprika. A lot of salt. And mix. We will also pour out a whole bottle of lemon juice. Cut 10 fresh lemons in half. And throw them in too. Now let's cut some celery. It's perfectly for crayfish. Cut a couple of garlic heads. And into the mixture. We also need a lot of onions. Cut the bulbs in half. And also into the saucepan. Add the peeled potatoes. And put the pan on the burner. Cover with the lid to boil faster. Then cook it all for 20 minutes. And finally, you can pour in the crayfish. We cover the lid again, and after 10 minutes, our Louisiana-style crayfish are ready. It's important to keep them on for another 2 hours to lie in this fragrant liquid. And then you can drain it. Pour the crayfish onto the dish. Louisiana crayfish are served with boiled corn, so we cut them into pieces and pour it on top. Just like that. And the last batch of crayfish needs to be put into the sleep for the freezer so that they don't suffer. And we'll light the coals in advance. Done. Now pour them onto the grill. We dump a lot of oil into the saucepan and put it on the stove. We throw in a bunch of fresh dill, a lot of salt, and a mixture of peppers with peas. With all this, we flavor the oil. Now it just needs to be filtered. We fill the syringe with salted oil with the aroma of dill and pepper. And then we syringe the crayfish in random places. We transfer the already filled ones to the gastric capacity. This should be done with each one without exception. Now we put them onto a skewer. Ready. Let's go outside. And lay them all out the skewers over the coals. The shell heats up and the meat inside is cooked immediately with the fragrant oil. We turn it over in literally 2 minutes. Add 2 more minutes from the second side. Crayfish and the coals are ready. We pull them off the skewers into the gastric capacity. Let's prepare another batch. We pour out the last crayfish of our dish. These are exactly 1,000 crayfish cooked in 3 different ways. In the evening, we invited a lot of friends and relatives, and we all enjoyed these crayfish together.